Classic performances in movies like 1963's The Nutty Professor helped make a legend out of Jerry Lewis. He's 90 now, looking back and looking forward with Tracy Smith.
So, how are you?
I'm good. I'm getting over not walking. It's rough.
It's got to be hard because you are such a physical comedian.
Frustrating as hell. But like my daughter said, Dad, would you have liked not to make 90? I said, no, I'm very happy about it.
He's a bit less mobile now, but for Jerry Lewis, not walking doesn't mean not working. In his latest film, Max Rose, he's a retired jazz artist coming to terms with his wife's passing.
And I never told you, Ava, but you breathe nicer than anyone I've ever known in my life.
Why Max Rose?
I fell in love with the material.
Vonnegut is on Charlie Rose tonight.
That man is a horse's ass.
In this role, his facial expressions say it all. Then again, they always have. The typewriter scene from 1963's Who's Minding the Store is a good example. Jerry Lewis made more than 6 sight-gag-heavy films by himself and as half of what was once the most popular comedy team on the planet.
Here comes the band. Oh, what a sight to see.
Jerry Lewis and Dean Martin first teamed up in 1946, post-war New York.
I fell in love with him the day we met.
And within weeks, they were selling out shows with their own brand of sex appeal and slapstick.
Why are you waiting?
I forgot what song we were singing.
For you and Dean, it almost seemed like anarchy. Is that the right way to describe it?
Yeah, pretty good. That's as good an explanation as I've ever heard. I loved him so much, and I knew how much he loved me. Jesus Christ, I'm telling you stuff I haven't talked about in 50 years.
Thank you.
We were both 6 feet tall. I took his shoes one day and put lifts on him so that he would be a little taller than me.
Because you thought that was better for the bit if you looked younger.
You can't do that unless you're feeling it.
But after a nonstop decade together, they weren't feeling it anymore. The two parted ways in 1956 and wouldn't even speak to each other for nearly 20 years.
You said you loved each other. Did you still love each other when you split up?
Oh, sure. Oh, yeah.
It just was time?
It was time for us both.
My head keeps spinning. I go to sleep and keep grinning.
Martin, of course, hit new heights on his own.
My life is gonna be beautiful.
You rude, discourteous, ego.
And Lewis became a top box office draw.
I understand it. Only this morning, looking in the mirror before shaving, I enjoyed seeing what I saw so much I couldn't tear myself away. Have some, baby?
Under his direction, slapstick comedy became performance art.
Young man, that vase is worth $7,000.
For this scene in 1964's The Patsy, he broke hundreds of vases, training himself to catch them just before they hit. Lewis, who learned his craft on the fly by watching people on movie sets,
That is a simple way to remember.
wound up teaching a film class to grad students at the University of Southern California.
Any questions?
Who was in your class?
I had Steven Spielberg, about 12 guys from a class of 60 made it in the bigs, we called it.
The really bigs.
The bigs, yeah.
I'm going to work, kid.
All right, places, please.
And in 1960, he made another, lesser-known contribution to filmmaking, video assist, that is, instant video replay of a movie scene after a take, Today, it's something directors can't live without.
The video assist was invented by Jerry because nobody had any idea what they were getting until the operator blessed it or until the operator critiqued it. There should be a sign, saying Jerry Lewis invented this.
I got my education from film people.
But today, in Jerry's Las Vegas home, the Oscar that sits atop his TV isn't for technical achievement or a specific film. It's the Academy's Humanitarian Award for his other career.
One more. Go, Tiffany!
For millions, it just wasn't Labor Day until Jerry hit his number on the Muscular Dystrophy Telethon, which he hosted from 1966 to 2010.
You raised an incredible amount of money.
I'll give you an exact figure. $2.7 billion accounted for.
I think you're so adorable.
The money led to research and longer lifespans for MD patients, but it didn't buy a cure. And at times, Lewis could only watch as the disease claimed another of his kids.
The days and hours I spent in hospital hallways waiting for the answer to this child. Is he going to live or die? And I took it very personal.
Each one.
How could he die? Look at the work I've done. And what do we do with all that money? Why don't we use it to help him?
How do you answer that?
You don't. You don't. Oh, God Almighty. I could write a book on children's reactions to meeting their clown. One child says to the coordinator, if I didn't get muscular dystrophy, I'd have never met him.
Oh, my goodness.
And then these children look at you like you're some kind of god. I'm not a god. I just love people, and I love people that are well. I don't like to see someone sick.
The MDA Telethon had its critics, but also had its moments. And one of the greatest happened 40 years ago today, September 4th, 1976, when Frank Sinatra brought out a mystery guest.
Would you send my friend out, please? Where is he? Will you send him out here? Come here.
Did you have any idea what he was up to?
Everybody knew but me.
All right, break it up. Break it up.
Martin and Lewis never did get their old act back together, not even after this.
So you working?
But they stayed close until Dean Martin died on Christmas Day in 1995.
You can't write love off or put it on hold. It stays with you until death. And I don't know, it doesn't continue.
That's the thing. Do you still think about Dean now?
Oh, sure. There isn't a day I don't think about him. And the fact that he left and died, I can't believe how bad I was that he died on me. I knew he would do it.
So I have to ask you this question. You working?
Yes. Yes. Christ, all the time.
Do you know what a wrench is, sir? A wrench? That's where Jewish cowboys live, a wrench.
The twice-married father of 7 is still performing live with no plans to quit.
Is there a goal you have now?
I want to live a little.
You want to live
longer.
Live a little longer?
Yeah.
What's a little longer?
Well, I'm 90. I figure maybe 4 or 5 would be nice.
In the twilight of an unforgettable life, all Jerry Lewis really wants is a little bit more.
My poor mouth breather. Allergies, stuffy nose, can't sleep. Enough. Take that. A Breathe Right nasal strip, of course. Imagine, just put one on and pow! It instantly opens your nose, up to 38% more than allergy medicine alone. So you can breathe and sleep.
genetically enhanced girl's supposed to do when she wakes up from a long sleep? Point to one of those little specks of light out there, pack a bag, and go make a life for herself?
Yep, that is our own Faith Saley, appearing in the 1990s TV series Star Trek Deep Space Nine. Star Trek's exploration of the final frontier has spanned 5 decades now, with more to come, as Faith explains.
Space, the final frontier.
It's a line that launched a pop culture powerhouse.
Its 5-year mission to explore strange new worlds.
A line that, would you believe, even 50 years later, still doesn't sound quite right to William Shatner, a.k.a. Captain James Tiberius Kirk.
When I heard it, I thought, I'm not doing it right. There's something I'm not doing. It's not right.
Oh, I think millions of people, millions and millions would beg to differ.
All decks go to full alert.
Star Trek, the original series, which lasted just 3 years from 1966 to 1969, boldly set off on a voyage that's still traveling at warp speed half a century later.
50 years ago, when you...
Did you say 50 years ago?
That show led to spin-off series and movies, including a 2009 big-budget reboot that introduced Kirk and his gang to a new generation of fans. It's a good time to be a Trekkie. And those at last month's annual Star Trek convention in Las Vegas, no matter what the species, were feeling out of this world.
It was a pilgrimage for us, 50 years. 50 years.
There, among the Kirks and the Spocks and whatever this is,
It calls itself a Horta. A Horta.
we found perhaps Star Trek's most important fan of all, 83-year-old B. Joe Trimble.
So when you sat down in front of your TV on September 8th, 1966,
Right.
what did you see and how did you feel about it?
Well, we were thrilled to have grown-up science fiction finally, not, there's an ugly monster, let's kill it.
That night, Bijo and her husband John discovered a sci-fi show they could warm up to in the middle of the Cold War.
What kind of message did Star Trek give to audiences who were worried that the world might be blown up in the next 10 years?
Well, the message was maybe it wouldn't be.
Did you ever hear of a doomsday machine? No, I'm a doctor, not a mechanic. It's never meant to be used. So strong it could destroy both sides in a war. Something like the old H-bomb was supposed to be.
Creator Gene Roddenberry may have pitched his show to the NBC brass as a wagon train to the stars.
Ahead, warp factor 2.
But it was his hopeful view of the future, stories of a racially diverse crew settling problems peacefully, that turned its viewers on. Still, by the end of the second season, word got out that the voyages of the Starship Enterprise were about to be canceled.
My husband, we talked about it, and he said, there ought to be something we could do about that.
Using 20th century technology of pen, paper, and postage stamps, Bijo boldly went where few fans had gone before and began a letter-writing campaign to save Star Trek.
And sent it to whom?
Not only to NBC, but to all the NBC affiliates, to all your local TV stations, and, most importantly, all the sponsors.
It worked. Star Trek was renewed for one more season.
It's a news broadcast using a system I think they once called video.
Television was the colloquial term.
Though officially canceled after that third season, Bijo's efforts meant that Star Trek now had enough episodes, 79 of them, to live on in reruns.
And that is how a whole generation of new Star Trek fans discovered the show.
Scott Mantz is the film critic for Access Hollywood, and if his bar mitzvah photos are any indication, a lifelong Trekkie.
Keep in mind that when Star Trek premiered, you had television shows like Bewitched, like Gomer Pyle, and yet you flip the channel and you're watching Star Trek? This was so ahead of its time.
For Mance, it wasn't just the storytelling that was ahead of its time. It was the way Star Trek motivated viewers to become fans.
No entertainment property before Star Trek had done like a convention, organizing fans, bringing people together to dress up like their characters.
And then there are those Star Trek fans who've become Star Trek family.
Is this really your last name?
Oh, honestly, I am Deborah Kirk. Okay, and my husband Barry married me graciously and took my last name.
Oh, bravo!
That's a
Bravo,
wise
sir.
choice. That was a
I
wise
would have done the same thing.
May I introduce my son, Patrick James Tiberius.
Oh, I love it!
And if all this seems a little spacey to you, consider all the Star Trek science fiction that today is science fact.
There are many things that they had in Star Trek that we have today, either on the ground here on Earth or in space.
Special advisor to the Intrepid Museum in New York City, Mike Massimino grew up watching Star Trek. A few decades later, he explored the final frontier for himself.
Things like a communicator cell phone.
Kirk here.
The use of computers.
This unit is the ultimate achievement in computer evolution.
Flat screen monitors, iPads.
But it wasn't just the technology that was ahead of its time.
If you look at the space program in the 60s when it came out, it was primarily white male test pilots who were there. Then it expanded over the years into civilian scientists and then men and women and people of color and even big Italian guys from New York, me.
Ready, main phasers.
Which brings us back to the captain. For the Shakespearean-trained actor, Star Trek has always been, first and foremost, all about entertainment.
Fascinating.
You have interesting villains. You have strange, wonderful life forms. You have mental gymnastics, plots.
You have love.
And you have love. Lots and lots of love. Oh, yes. Pardon me a moment while I think about all that love.
And for the fans, now there's more love than ever. A new spin-off launches on CBS All Access in January. The voyages of the Starship Enterprise are far from over.